Have you ever been in a situation where you're shooting a subject that has black eyes and a black head and it's just impossible to track with your focusing? It's so challenging because one, you cannot see, and I'm sure the camera cannot see that either, the difference or the contrast between the eye and the face. So let's see how we can do that. Let's break it down. I'm here in Florida. I'm basically trying to get 3 to 4 images. I have practiced on my focusing back in New York with the cars. I've gone side to side. But I think the issue here is that they are coming at me. The focusing there is like you constantly keep on pressing the focus because sometimes the camera keeps up and sometimes the camera does not keep up. And the bigger thing is that I'm using such a small, tiny focusing point that keeping the focusing point on the bird, and the bird makes a move every so often, just without any notice. Of course, she's coming at you straight and then all of a sudden she'll go this way and your focusing point, you're trying to focus and see where the hell your focusing goes. No, I missed it. That's a challenge with this bird. I'm having such a huge challenge trying to get the eyes. And here is the bigger one. The camera is being fooled totally in terms of focus because the eyes are black and the face is black and it has no contrast whatsoever. So those are the things that are going on. I think I've done my homework correctly. I've done the research on how they fly, what they do, but actual shooting is actual shooting. And they're fast. They are super, super fast. I think the ones at the beach are much dramatic because of the foam. Got it. This guy's gonna come here too. I'm kind of bored of these shots because there isn't much water struggle. I mean, here he comes, coming. It is an absolute nightmare tracking. The only way I can even think that I can land with something is if I predict. So prediction in focusing a black eye on a black face is the most important way. So let's see how we can do it. So the way I do it is I predict where my bird is going to land and where the eye of my bird is going to land. And I put my focusing point there. So what I do is I put my focusing point, which is really, really small because I choose the smallest focusing point and I let the bird come to it. Because if I let my point go to the bird, then the tracking becomes really difficult. So I'll place it kind of in the far top right corner and I'll watch with the other eye while I'm watching while I'm in the camera. With one eye, I'll watch with the other eye. If the bird is coming, then I'll place it on top and I'll wait for it to come. Once the bird hits my focusing point, that's when I start tracking. I do not track before. If the bird is coming at me straight, then I'm going to put the point in my frame in the center or maybe to the right a little bit, and I'll wait for the bird to skim over and come to that point. Once the bird comes over there, then all I have to do is dip down or dip up depending on what the bird is doing. And that's the only way to track. There's no way you can track with such a small point on the bird's eye and feel like you're going to land up with anything. If I use a larger focusing point, the camera is going to start to think, and you don't want the camera to think. The camera starts to think, should I put it on the eye? Should I put it on the nose? Should I put it on the beak? To avoid that confusion, I always choose the smallest focusing point because this way I know I'm in control. All I have to do is put my point on the bird. But you have to place your point in a place that it's either catching the left eye or the right eye. It cannot catch both because sometimes the birds come too close and the face is looking gigantic. So you got to catch one eye or the other eye. That's how you do the tracking of the bird. Just like that, you're tracking my eye. Let's see if you can track the bird that the same way. I didn't think that photographing these skimmers would be challenging. I thought, oh, piece of cake. I've been shooting, I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and I have to tell you, they're super fast, these birds, and having the black eyes on a black face is a killer. But here is something I'm going to tell you. If the wind is blowing this way and the bird is coming towards you, it helps you. Why? Because then they are flying slow. And if they're flying slow, you have more time to get what you want. I am practicing my predictions instead of my tracking, because predictions I personally feel will give me a better shot than the tracking. I don't have the kind of reflexes that these birds have. So I'm predicting, and all I'm doing is I'm literally pressing the shutter for a second or two and releasing it, because that's where I get my shot. Otherwise, I'm not getting it. So the bird flies into my spot, done, finished, gone. That's the only way to do it. If the bird is going to come from this way, I'm not going to stand here. I'm going to turn this way, my back, and then I'll pull my waist in, and I'll wait for the bird's eye to come to my focusing spot. And then when it comes in, I glide through it with my waist. And that's why my ritual of focusing on the cars from side to side helps, because I just have to know where the bird's coming from. I don't look at the bird. I look at the bird this way. And the bird is coming from here. I'm not going to stand this way. I'm going to face my back to the bird, turn this way. I wait for the bird to get to the spot. That's when my waist starts moving. I agree, my waist has become bigger now, but I'm going to lose it. But the key again is, or let the animal go to the spot. Don't go with the spot to the bird. It becomes jerky, it becomes fast, it becomes a little bit more difficult. For me, it's helped me. I've done this all throughout my career, and it's worked perfectly fine for me. If you guys want it, give it a shot. If you like it, put the comment below, thank you. And if you don't like it, say thank you in any case. I don't think I'm shooting right now. I believe I'm just going to look at the bird and try and put my spot on it just to get my memory and my brain going. I will shoot when the light is right, which is, I'm going to say, in the next 20 minutes or so. But for now, it's just time to practice, not shoot. Practice your focusing. Yeah, the birds are there. Of course, they're not doing anything because it's so hot. Every so often, they go out in the ocean. I think the way it's working out is that the birds are right there, and then what happens is they go out straight into the ocean, and then they start skimming. So I think my focusing point is going to be tack in the middle, and once it's in the middle, I made my tripod go really low so I can try and get to their eye level. When they come, my spot is already there, so I just have to move the focusing point straight into their face and then tilt it down and tilt it up depending on how they're flying to get the shot that I want. The face is black and the eyes are black as well. What's happening is that the water is reflecting on the eye, and that is what's making me focus on them. Or should I say, the reflection of the ocean in the bird's eye will help my eye to be a little tad bit lighter than the face, and that is what I'm focusing on. Otherwise, it will be just impossible. You know, you may turn on the eye focusing and say, oh, it's going to focus on the eye. That's awesome. But what if you really want to focus on the beak? What are you going to do about that? So that's why a smallest focusing point makes so much sense. You, as an artist, you are in control, not the camera manufacturer, not the focusing system, and definitely not your camera. That was an amazing shot. I followed the bird from afar. I put my spot exactly on the eye, and then I didn't shoot. The bird came towards me. When it came to a point where I thought I got a good shot with the foam and everything, I just pressed my shutter and it went, and I can hear it. And that's what makes a difference. And the spot was right on it. So here's a pattern I have kind of understood about these birds. Is they fly, they look down to see what's happening, and when they see it, they dive down. So I have to make sure that my spot goes as quick. Of course, I'm not as fast as them, but yeah, I'm trying to keep the spot. When they dip down is when I want to get the shot. They dip down and then they skim. So they first see what is happening under the water, and then they dip down, and that's the shot that I think would be awesome. And I feel there's something crawling in my eyes. Yeah, and it's salty. My camera is crying. So is the lens crying. It's salty. It's very, very salty. Wow. I am tracking them, and when they dip is where I'm losing it. But that's when they dip is exactly where I would like to continue tracking them and shoot, but I'm losing it. So I'm either chopping off the wings or I'm not in focus. And the focusing point must stay. And here we go. The focusing, and the water just came towards me and I hate it. I have managed to study my black eye. Thank you. My black eye, so I can get my focus back on. And I have been really successful today with some of my shots. And right now I think the sun is too harsh. It's too harsh for my liking. And this will be the last shot of the day and I'm done. It's too harsh. My shutter speed has gone up to 4,000 to get the proper exposure, which is a dead zone as far as I'm concerned. And that's the reason why I'm calling it off. Done for the day.